Volume 1 Chapter 7 Section 3. The world faded to black. Zheng entered a state of half-wakefulness and half-sleep. This didn't last long. In the blink of an eye his vision came back. This room wasn't too big, with the ceiling and walls made of steel. Various machines spread out in the room, all of them unfamiliar to Zheng. He looked to the side. 11 newbies lay on the ground. Jai and the other two had woken up by now. Jai immediately looked to the ground. Then his face turned pale.
This is bad. 15 people. You won't get this difficulty in a sci-fi movie like Alien. God must have changed something.
Zheng looked at him confused.
I've never encountered this situation before. I heard from the veterans that God can change the plot and difficulty of a movie. This happens randomly and usually ends with the party getting wiped. Of course you also get a generous amount of rewards for finishing it. Look at your watch.
Zheng and the other two looked at their watches. It showed different data than during Resident Evil. There was no countdown. The only line it had was, "Kill aliens. Every member is awarded 1000 points and a rank D reward." Apostrophe. Jai took out a cigarette.
Any of you still remember the plot?
Zheng shook his head.
This movie is too old, even though it's a classic and I had seen it before. I forgot all the details already.
Zhao Yi shook his head also.
I only saw a few of the latest horror movies these few days. Didn't expect God to choose something like this.
Lan laughed.
You guys are unprofessional. Since our lives are on the line, then you should review even the oldest horror movies. Especially if this dimension existed since the ancient times. I even looked through some horror stories. The plot of Alien.
Alien happened sometime in the future. Human technology was advanced enough to support planetary travel. They created colonies in a few galaxies, but unfortunately humanity never found any extraterrestrial life until the start of Alien.
A voice interrupted Lan. A young man stood up from the ground. He had a common face and wore glasses, but his eyes looked unusually calm. He gave off a sense of wisdom. Zheng was the first to react.
Zheng Zha, welcome.
He held out his hand. The man hesitated, then shook his hand.
Chu Xuan. If you don't mind, can you tell me what is this place?
Zheng smiled bitterly.
It seems like you are familiar with the plot of Alien. Can you tell us the details first?
Xuan sat on the floor. He adjusted his glasses.
If you insist. The plot starts on a commercial spacecraft. According to the law, anyone that encounters an unknown signal during space travel has the obligation to investigate, to determine if it's sent by an intelligent species. In the plot, a commercial spacecraft caught such an unknown signal, a frequency that doesn't belong to humans. It may come from extraterrestrial life. According to the law, if they don't investigate it, they will be fined. People on the spacecraft were forced to land on the planet that sent the signal. Indeed, they found the source of the signal. A ruin that might be a spacecraft. They also found the bodies of huge aliens that may have died tens of thousands of years ago, bodies that had fossilized. In the following investigations, they found some cocoons that were still alive. One of the staff touched it out of curiosity. A starfish-like organism jumped out at him, then stuck onto his face. Other people brought him back to the spacecraft. These organisms are aliens. More accurately, the larva form of aliens. They cannot harm anyone physically and cannot stay alive by themselves. They have to find a host. The larva enters the host's body. Even though the host will not look different physically, the larva inside will grow into an alien. When the people returned to their spacecraft, the larva had already grown. It climbed out through the host's chest. The alien at this time was about the same size as a serpent but with a much higher attack power and speed. We will call this the second stage. Then the plot becomes repetitive. The alien hid in the spacecraft and attacked the staff non-stop until it gained enough nutrients to evolve to the third stage, third-stage aliens are almost flawless. Their exoskeletons are bulletproof, their bodily liquid is acidic. They have insane strength and speed. The staff finally realized the disaster they brought. In actuality, that signal wasn't a cry for help. It was a warning to stay away from the ruin. Then,
at this time a voice interrupted Xuan.
That's enough already. Listening to your bullshit in the morning. What the FCK is this place?
The four of them looked at him. The other newbies woke up already. They were looking around in confusion. Three of them, with hair dyed in bright colors, looked at them impatiently. Dressed in hippie clothes. One had piercings in his nose and lips. He said loudly,
Who the heck are you? I was gaming in an internet cafe. How the heck did I get here?